What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a good evening. My name is Bleaves, and we are here to talk about trading in this crazy, crazy market. We're going to focus on a couple of major events that have happened over the last 24 hours. My name is Bleaves. I'm your host. Do me the favor, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, bell to be notified of future content. We're going to kick this off tonight after the Still Christmas jump. Let's get that intro song going. Make sure that your head's nodding because it's time to get party down, baby.
It's your boy Bleaves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys. Hope you're having a good evening. There's been some stuff going on in the crypto market. Yesterday, you saw $100 billion in liquidations happening, in the millions of category, $125 million, something like that. Wasn't a huge amount overall. Really was an example of bears attacking a weak market. That's all it was, just bears attacking a weak market because the bulls were taking the weekend off because they knew that a day like today was going to start what could be a good rally week. Now, the problem with the rally week thesis is this. This is the week where we're going to get rate cuts or no rate cuts. We've got geopolitical tensions everywhere as Donald Trump continues to shoot unarmed civilians. Wild stuff happening all over the place. And you might be saying to yourself, well, the guy wasn't armed. Yeah, but he also wasn't holding his gun in his hand and he wasn't going after and trying to shoot people. And we saw enough replays to know that that's the case. And it's wild to see MAGA, my friends, I love you guys. It's wild to see MAGA out here talking about how, what are we going to do? Repeal the Second Amendment? Is that what we're going to do? Is that where we are right now? Is that what's going to happen? It's not, but it's weird. It's very, very weird. So, yeah. What's going on, everybody? Roy G is in the house. We've got Penguin in the house. We got Blackerjack in the house. What is going on, guys? I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate you coming in. Make sure you share this content with as many people as possible. As you might know, maybe you don't know because I don't really talk about it over here, but my Bears channel has been kind of blowing up lately. So you might notice that I've been getting tons and tons and tons of, I've had some of my Bears content have had like 1 million views. So across all kinds of different social media platforms. So I'm not paying less attention to crypto. Crypto is my passion. Crypto is what I do every day, but the Bears content has been kind of blowing up. So I've been putting a lot of effort into making new content for that. With that said, let's talk about the 5 major things that have happened right now to get you guys up to speed. I won't belabor it too long with you, but Bitcoin dips to 2026 lows amid risk-off sentiment and geopolitical tensions. Yesterday, we dipped down to about 86,000. Now, what we've got are potential U.S. government shutdowns, macro uncertainty with the Fed decision. Big tech earnings are coming very, very soon. Crypto liquidations were $550 million over the last 4 days, with all majors in the red. Then, to cap that off, we had massive outflows for the crypto ETFs and the ETPs. This was in the neighborhood of $1.72 billion over 5 days between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what about XRP and Solana? Well, they actually had inflows, but they were smaller inflows, and their inflows don't in any way offset the crazy amount of outflows that you had. Now, the other part to that is ETFs are reactionary to market news and sentiment. So you are witnessing people who are just kind of taking profit along the way. So I don't think it's anything to really worry about. When you look at the inflows on this, you're really seeing a massive, and I mean a massive, like I cannot belabor this at all. There's a massive amount of capital inflows that have happened on these ETFs over the last couple of years. I mean, it's been wild to see the growth from Bitcoin. So, let's stick with that for right now and move on to number 3, which is Bitcoin hash rate is down because of the U.S. winter storm, and it's disrupted mining operations around the country. Markets have been shrugging it off. We really haven't seen this absolute capitulation event or anything like that, but it highlights the risk of having everything concentrated in the United States right now. Mining infrastructure, which is a good thing. I think ultimately it's a good thing to have, but look, if you don't have things proportionately spaced out, then you are subject to a single point of failure. So I think what we're seeing right now is that single point of failure in that the weather is just a little bit cold. It was 31 degrees in Destin, Florida today. It was -9 degrees at one point today here in Chicago. So, crazy amount of cold going everywhere. Louisville was supposed to have record snow. There were other places that had upwards of 2 feet of snow, like crazy numbers all around the country. Next up, we have the Ethereum Foundation has now opened up a post-quantum security team dedicated to upgrading the network against future quantum computing threats, because last week, Vitalik Buterin now famously went out and said that he thinks that Ethereum could end up being vulnerable and that they need to start focusing on privacy and security a lot more than what they've been doing. They've been focused on growth. They've been focused on expansion. Now it's time to make sure that everything is secure. So we'll see how that works out. Also, there was a BTQ, which is Bitcoin Quantum testnet, that launched earlier this month. So there's more coming, or at least I think there's more coming here. In regards to fighting off quantum computing. At some point, quantum computing is going to be at a level in which things are just going to start getting hacked, and there's not very much that many people can do about it unless we come up with something. By the way, it's going to be AI fighting AI. So that's what I would suspect to see happen. And then finally, institutions and corporate moves. UBS Crypto Trading and Bitmine are both doing a lot. UBS announced that it announced a plan to offer Bitcoin and Ethereum trading to its wealthier clients, signaling growing traditional finance adoption. And Bitmine bought 40,000 Ethereum again last week. They are now staking a total of 2 million Ethereum. Guys, there's only 121 million Ethereum, and they own 2 million of those. That was a wild thing. Also, Nifty Gateway, which was really Nifty, was a way of saying NFT, Nifty Gateway, is now winding down, and all NFT holders have 30 days to withdraw their NFTs from Nifty Gateway. Tokens like River was up 180%, surged into the top 50. Dash, we've been seeing a nice little move, and a little known asset called DMC. Now, if you have followed me for any length of time, you know I've spoken about it a couple of times. The very first car that I ever sold was a DeLorean. I worked for a car dealer when I was 18 years old, and the first car that I ever sold was a DeLorean. So DeLorean Motor Corporation launched their own crypto a while back. It was up 300% at one point yesterday. Now, it's only up 300% to people who bought yesterday or the day before, the day before, the day before, because there was a massive dip that happened. Did not reach new levels. It did not pump to all-time highs. It didn't do anything that I would consider crazy, okay? The last time, yesterday's level has not been seen since October of 2025, where it was trading at 0.0034. Now, it did retrace back down to 0.001594, where it is right now, but it was at 306 the day before. So, all told, let's see here, all told, there was an actual 470% increase in DMC over the last little while. So let's now break it down and let's talk about it. Make sure you hit that like button, by the way, on the way in. It is time now. Let's get into what's really going on in these markets. So looking at the Bitcoin ETFs, we saw on Friday outflows, big, by the way, outflows of 103 million. But again, this entire week was just one big red week. Now, overall, we're up $56 billion in the ETF. So it stands to reason that there's going to be some price, that there's going to be some fluctuation here. Not something to worry about when we look at it from Ethereum. Same thing, really. 41 million in outflow, slowed down, but it was 12 billion in positive inflow overall. Solana ETF, positive inflow. XRP ETF, positive inflow. So, we're still looking at people on the sidelines. Institutions are still awaiting that moment where something big happens. We're not there yet. So, we'll see how that comes to pass. In the meantime, the Fear and Greed Index is back down to 29. Yesterday, it was back down to 20, by the way. We were starting to feel a little bit concerned, and with every reason, a $100 billion dip is a massive reason to be concerned. So downward momentum right there. Liquidity, still a big pool sitting right there at around 86,479. But when we look at it on the long term, we're going to move out here to the 1 week number, and you can see right there that there's just an enormous amount of shorts that have been taken in a short period of time, where I feel like this market is ready for 93,000. 93,000, by the way, just happens to be where the last, that's dominance, whoops, right up in this little range right there. There we go. All right. Let's zoom in here. That green spot, that little green block that I put right there, that is the current futures gap. Now, you'll notice that the gap, there was a gigantic gap over here, but that got filled immediately. That's not even a thing. But this gap right here remains unfilled. Not very large, by the way, so I don't think that there's too much to it. But the market does tend to go to these gaps. So I could see a really nice move into that over the next couple of days. Now let's look at the total market right now, kind of get a breakdown. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about this. I gave this to you. I mean, it's almost like a gift. I keep saying that and I keep joking about it, but I gave you the gift. I told you what I think is going to happen. And guess what? What I told you was going to happen is exactly what's playing out right now. It didn't play out the way I told you it was going to play out, but it is playing out the way I said it was going to play out. I said the most likely scenario here was a move down here, but we got a rally. Before that rally, though, it started to fail, and then boom, here we are right back down here. This is what I told you was going to happen. We just got a rally, a relief rally in the middle of it. Now, the other thing to consider for that is we're in an uptrend. We're still in an uptrend, no matter what anybody is saying to you on any other brand of social media. We are still in an uptrend in this overall market. And it comes out, just zoom out, and all you have to do, when in doubt, zoom out. Uptrend, 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 uptrend. We're in an uptrend still. So the people who are bearish, the people who are telling you that it's over, guys, I don't know. I mean, something really, really wrong with those people. Something really, really wrong with those people. So we'll see. Make sure, by the way, let me pop this up on the chat right here. Let's see. Did anybody get mad? Did anybody get mad because I just said something they didn't like about MAGA? Hate to be a negative Nancy. That video that Dev put out yesterday look really poverty. You know what? I have no. So the reason that it looks the way that it does, from what I understand, and I'm not sure, but I'm given to understand that the reason that that happened the way that it did was that them, which is the company that's making TH3M, they're still working and it's not ready. So I was not impressed by it either. We did the video. I did the video and I took their stuff and it just didn't excite me in any way. So, I mean, whatever, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with it. I just look. I'm still in on Dev. Next week, by the way, I should have Tom Anderson on. So we'll see what happens. And by the way, once that came out, we started to see a big surge in the price, and then it got dumped on. And that was more a testament, by the way, of people just look. People don't like the results, and I wish I had given you guys a better result off of that. However, at 13 cents, 14 cents, I was telling you to buy at $1.80. If you didn't sell and you didn't take any profit along the way, I mean, isn't that kind of on you, boo-boo? I mean, I've been doing this since square one. I've been telling you that I think Dev was going to have a massive upside run. I've never wavered in that. I've told you what I thought was going to happen. And it was all the way down over here at around 14 cents. Like I was telling you this back here, way, way, way back here, all the way through here. I was no longer partnered with them right here, right there. So if at no point you took the profit, if at no point, and by the way, I did not either. So I'm with you in feeling like, God damn it, because my bag was somewhere in the neighborhood of $120,000 up there at the top at that time. So, I'm with you on it, but my lane, I felt like, was to hold for whatever crazy move was going to come. And it felt like I was going to get some kind of crazy move, by the way. Also, haven't seen Austin in a few days. Also, I texted Austin, and Austin never replied to me. So I don't know what's going on with Austin, or anything like that. So all I know that's going on right now is Tom and what Tom says, and that's kind of it. So I'm interested. I'm interested. I don't think that. And by the way, I'm not out any money, so it was found money anyway. I was paid for promotion, so really didn't cost me anything. Although I should have taken the money. I should have cashed out at the top. I really should have. But here we are. So, but let's get back into the more pressing pieces right now. What's going on with Bitcoin? Listen, I gave you guys the feeling here that Bitcoin was headed up to 97,000. It's going to fulfill this. It's going to go up here to 93,000, obviously, to fulfill that CME futures gap. But then I thought, this is probably going to break. It went up, it went down, it went up, it went down. There should be a third leg to that. So we should see another big move up here, probably taking us back into around 100,000. That feels like the move. That feels like the play. But, obviously when the market is weak, and the market is weak, there's going to be profit taking along the way. Now, with that being said, what did happen here is it broke out of its range in that 24-hour period, and it came back into it over the last couple of hours. Now, it didn't break below, or it broke below, but it's not going to mint a full candle below at this point unless we have a negative day. If we have a negative day, then all bets are suddenly going to be off, and we're going to start looking at this as downward momentum. But I suspect that we're probably not going to see that. We're probably going to see a little bit of positive momentum. And by the way, when I say that, the reason that I'm saying that is because gold certainly wicked way up there at 5,100 before coming back down just a tiny bit. And then silver, look at silver. Silver ran up to almost $120, has corrected back down to 107. In the last few minutes, it started to surge again, but it looked like we had reached the top of silver. RSI says that it's overbought. MACD says that it is out of its mind right now. So I'm not sure, but I think that the rally on precious metals is going to start cooling off just a little bit. And when it cools off just a little bit, then I think we're about to see some big levels coming to crypto. And look, the money rotates. The money rotates. So I think we're going to see money start to rotate back into crypto over the next couple of days and weeks. So that's what I'm looking for, and that's why I'm looking for it to happen. So again, I do think that we come up to 100,000 coming very soon. Right now, any entry point for me is a good one. I've been DCAing, by the way, every single day. With you guys trading on KCEX, every day I've been making some money. Every day I've been putting that money into a long on Bitcoin. The reason that I'm doing that is because what I thought I could do, what I'm hoping that I can do, is that we're not going to break down. My liquidation point, by the way, is 70,000. So I'm not really too worried about it. But if I keep making money off of it, I'm going to keep DCAing and would just keep DCAing my way down so that I don't get wrecked off of it. So if it reverses and if it starts to pump, then I'm going to take the profits off of that pump when it goes to 70 on the Fear and Greed Index, and I'm going to buy Bitcoin on spot. And I'm going to remember the exact amount that I made, and then I'm going to wait for Bitcoin to come back down into the Fear and Greed Index of 30, and then I'm going to do the same thing over and over again. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to shore it up by doing 5x every time. So if I have 500 in right now, and I get a nice run, and let's say the Fear and Greed Index clocks in at around 100,000, whatever that number is, from where we are right now to, let's call it 100,000, just for giggles, if you will. So we get to 100,000. That's going to be 13.6%, which is on a 5x is going to be about 65, 66%. So about 60%. So off of 500, we're going to have 60%, which means that we're going to end up with, instead of 500 bucks, we're going to end up with 800 bucks. Okay. So then when we come back down to 30, I'm going to play with 800 bucks instead of 500 bucks. That's what I'm going to do. Then I'm not going to buy the whole thing at 30, by the way. I'm going to DCA. I'm going to put half in when the Fear and Greed Index hits 30, and then I'm going to save the other half for just in case it dips a little bit more, just to kind of hold on to it. Now, in the event that KCEX is good to me and we make a little bit of money off of it, that could change. And at 30, I could go in 800 and I'll go 10x on it that time. And when I go 10x on it, the money that I make from KCEX is going to be used in order to DCA my way down for another big reversal, because I want to hold on to that long position for a period of time. So that's what my strategy is right now on how I intend to play it. So that's what I think is going to happen. Now, Ethereum, again, I told you that I thought that Ethereum was going to break towards this upside, and it has not, but it came back down to the area in which, look, we got that one wrong, because that just, the markets are the markets. So we broke down there, Let's remove all that and let's focus on what we have right now. What we have right now is boom, 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 boom. Here we are again with the next move, 3,500. I think we're going to see Ethereum running to 3,500 very, very soon. We've already clearly we've got a floor, and what we need to see is where the top is. And the top so far has been here. Now it was up here, So it's declining just a little bit, but it's got to break out at some point. So I think 35 is going to be a really good number here for Ethereum. So if you're setting anything right now, 5x long on Ethereum at the current level, and you should see a nice little spike off of this. No guarantees, but you should see a nice little spike. Again, same thing with Solana. We're not seeing that big breakout that we were looking for, that we were hoping for, but the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 different data points right there saying that we're at the floor right here. Now I've got it up here, but close enough. With a move coming back towards that upside. So we did not get this one right. We didn't get this right, except when I circled it right here is because I told you guys I think it's going to come down to that range and then bounce from there, and that's what it did. XRP, same thing. Nothing's changed fundamentally with XRP. We're down at the bottom of the range. XRP should be ready for a strong, strong bounce. BitTensor broke down, is not breaking back upwards. Like to see a little more out of Tau, but just not seeing it right now. BNB is same thing. BNB is on, look, it's an upward trend right here. and we're not seeing it. Now, what we wanted to see, if you guys remember this, what we wanted to see off of BNB was a break above, which we got. Remember, we talked about this when we got the break above. I said, we need to break down here and then a break above. And then what happened is it broke down below, and then it came back down to our trend line, which has been holding up very, very well for the last little while. So I do think that means that we're probably still looking at that happening. I don't think anything has fundamentally changed. That CZ is right. We're probably headed into a super cycle. Avalanche, just not feeling anything with Avalanche right now. We have to start looking at new lows at this point. Let's kind of drop this down here and say that, this is the new low right here. And if we just hold that and we say that this is the high over here, then we can make an expectation here that from this bottom, we're probably going to get a move up here at $15 again. That makes the most sense when we look at the chart. So hopefully we'll see something happen right there with Avalanche. That price is just not looking great at all. Trump meme coin still finding new lows. Now, of course, it's not showing the low of $1.54 from Wintermute dumping, but it is clearly in a descending trend line and is not showing any signs of life. Near protocol, same thing. Like we're looking at all these, and we've already done this. We're looking at moves towards that upside. This is a great Ondo. I would say is probably coming down to 30 cents before it bounces again. That's what makes the most sense. Pendle, same thing. Pendle bounced up here to around $2, $2.40, something like that just a little while back, and then broke down again to $1.93. And now I think that a rally, again, all of this is telling me that rallies are imminent. I still see like a little distance here for some of these. By the way, Definity did kind of dump. Now look, Definity is partnered with the Midnight Foundation. Definity is partnered with the developer of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson. So I don't want to belabor this too much, but I do want to say that I think they messed up in the way they announced it, and they didn't do a great job with their announcement. But ultimately, over the next couple of months, I think Definity is going to absolutely explode, because I think the Midnight Foundation and the Midnight blockchain probably going to be a big deal. That's a privacy-based blockchain. The whole idea behind it is to be like the Zcash of the future. You got Charles Hoskinson is the lead programmer. I mean, everything you could possibly want in a crypto. And by the way, remember, he does take a long time to complete tasks. But at the same time, if that's the money transfer, if Bloomsbury, which is the owner of Definity, is the company that they're going to use, I mean, guys, this thing is going to get crazy at some point. So I'm just holding out right now, waiting for that moment. In the meantime, Night is about to flip. It looks like it caught it. Look at this. When we look at it, it looks like it's bouncing strong and has had a good recovery over here. Still sitting at about $1 billion market cap. So I think that Midnight is probably going to have a nice little run. Cardano, don't see anything in Cardano that's leading me to be bullish. Aerodrome, not seeing anything in Aerodrome that's leading me to be bullish. The only thing that I can say is we're at the bottom, and normally when that happens, we go to the bottom, we go to the top. I mean, that's the nature of the beast, right? So we're at the bottom right now. Same thing over here with API 3. We're at the bottom. Should be a move to the top. Aster, not yet. I don't think Aster's done dumping yet. Conflux, no movement. Just kind of sitting there. I think we need the market. The market's going to have to get hot. Same thing for Luna Classic. I would implore you guys, if you're buying some Luna Classic right now. By the way, I have sold all my USTC and converted to USTR. So if you're wondering about that, then I'm taking a shot here that USTR is going to do better than USTC in the long term and short term. So Terra Luna Classic, however, if you're buying right now, if you're accumulating, I'm going to implore you, if it goes to 4068, sell as much as you possibly can. Take as much profit as you possibly can. Don't get stuck holding the bag. I'm not sure that, I'm not sure what happens after that. But here's what I do think. In the event that we get a move up here like we just did, then we're going to get another breakdown. So, it's not going to just go up. So I think 68 is going to be the spot right there, or the range where something goes on. So I would implore you, just take your profit when you get the opportunity to do it. Fiat has not broken down to 1 cent yet, which I'm waiting. If Fiat drops down to 1 cent, I'm going to be buying a bunch of it. Link, guys, Link is what links together the entire TradFi and Web3 right now, and it's struggling. So this should be a testament right now to the markets are not thinking clearly. They're extracting liquidity clearly. So yeah, I just, that's one of the major indices. So it's just kind of wild that that's happening right now. So Bitcoin to 80 or 100,000 first. I'm gonna say 100,000 first. Seems like devs trying to pay bills from last post will pay back after some. I don't know. I don't know. Coin on, it seems like to me you're just kind of making it up in your mind what they're doing, because they're not saying any of that. So I don't know if that's true or not. I really don't. At best, I could say they didn't close the deal that I thought that they were going to close, and that is to say, not that they don't have, they got to sign contract, they've got to sign agreement with their big company. They're in place. What they have to do basically is just finish off whatever it is that they're doing. So I know that the funds ran low. What they were doing is they were looking for bridge, basically. DevStream was their parent company, but DevStream was going to do something like awesome for them, and it just didn't work out. DevStream today announced that they were going to they were being sold to, it's like a 3-party deal here. They're merging with 2 other companies, and those 2 other companies were like, no, you're not giving $1 million to this random crypto and buying this shit for like a year or something like that. Like, they just wouldn't let them do it as part of the deal. So that's really what happened, so anyway, that's it, guys. That's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, you have 5 different things that are happening every single day. We report those, and then we talk trading, and we talk about what you need to know in these markets right now. Look, sometimes we're going to get it right. Sometimes we're going to get it wrong. Sometimes we're just going to look down the road. We're going to kick the can down the road. We're going to create these levels, and we're going to hope that these levels support exactly what we want to do. Last week, it didn't support what we wanted it to do or what we thought that it could do. Doesn't mean that we're done. Just means that we came back down to the starting point. And from that starting point, that's where things are supposed to explode. So we'll see what happens. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you